Hello, it's me, Jack-a-Lopium. Welcome along. We're back. Well, no, we're not back doing anything. We're taking a quick look at. I'm hoping to do more than take a quick look at as well. So this is going super well. This is a video. It's just showing off a bit of Dwarf Fortress, which is let me give you the spiel, is a Dwarven colony builder from Bay 12 Games. You can look up their 10-year kind of like development of this game. I don't really want to give you too much kind of this is all by Tarn Adams and explaining what Tarn Adams does and this, that, and the other, because you can find that out in numerous places on the internet, and I, for one, don't want to be accused of plagiarism. You know, not on YouTube, for instance. I don't want to be accused of plagiarism on YouTube, for example. But anyway, the free version of the game is still available on the Bay 12 website, and I will give you a link to that. It will be in the just in the link tree in the description of the video down below. This is going to be the commercial version. So I look at the commercial version of Dwarf Fortress. So yeah, I paid for this, and this is the product which they're selling. But yeah, however, you can still get the free version on the Bay 12 website, and I will put a link there. This is what it looks like. There you go, Dwarf Fortress. You can download it, but it absolutely is not the same as this version. This is the commercial version. So, pays your money, takes your choice. The main difference which we'll find between the free version and the commercial version is that in the free version, and this is kind of what Dwarf Fortress was kind of famous for all those years, is that it has a mouse and keyboard UI. I call it a CUI, a keyboard UI. But now that they've moved to a like a more standard graphical user interface. But yeah, let's have a look at what this is. Here we go. You get like a text thank you and all of that, welcome along, and all of that. We can design a map of you can go in, you can call it large, medium, small, smaller, or pocket size. I say we leave it at medium. History length. So yeah, history is, again, this is another thing that Dwarf Fortress is famous for, is like a length of like simulated history in the game world, which you probably won't find in many other places, although there are now a few different kind of places like Songs of Six that do things like this. They will simulate like a history length. It's not a copy, it's usually an homage. They're usually heavily indebted and homage in Dwarf Fortress. It's massively influential and has been for a decade or two. So there you go, maximum number of sites. So that's like interesting sites. Number of beasts, natural savagery, and mineral occurrences, because we're dwarfs, we mine everywhere, right? And another thing that is Dwarf Fortress is famous for is a fully implemented system of Z levels, which you don't get in many other places. Seriously, I'm always asking, even before I buy colony builders, because this is essentially a colony builder, I always ask if there are Z levels, and there almost never are. So I tend to think, why should I buy? What's the difference between buying Dwarf Fortress and playing Dwarf Fortress that has Z levels, or any other colony simulator that does not have Z levels? And we'll see what Z levels are. We're basically simulating a few more weeks So there you go. Quick start and short tutorial. So, would you like your fortress located in a forested, mineral-rich region of this world where you can play through a short tutorial, or non-interactive help will be available, whatever you decide? I would say take the tutorial. I revisited the tutorial as well, just because this functions so totally differently from the old UE. So usually you click start tutorial. I think we're going to skip it, even though you should almost always take the tutorial. But this is why you would do that. Let's look at why you would take. If this is your first time playing, please heed the embark warnings about aquifers, salt water, and other hazards. Some locations are challenging even for experienced players, and yes they are, and it will be a very short game indeed if you don't know how to deal with them. After you embark, help is available by pressing the help buttons, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So, we get to choose exactly where on this map of, well, essentially the entire planet, I guess. But you can see in the top right hand corner like which region you're in: Hill of Cages, Enchanted Jungle, Desert of Chancing, on the empty continent. So you want some woodland, you want a temperature of temperate probably, other vegetation, moderate, and surroundings wilderness. You also want to look down at the second paragraph. Very deep soil, light aquifer. I would say to start with, you want to avoid all aquifers. And there you go. Iron, gold, silver, copper, nickel, zinc, platinum, tin, lead, flux, stone, layer. Very deep soil is the new. Look, temperature warm, trees sparse. I mean, it follows a normal kind of... there we go. I wonder what it was going to say. And can it be moved around? Yeah, it can. Awesome. I'll right click to zoom out. Okay, so there's literally only two. Okay, so we probably don't want cold. We do want, I mean, it handles a lot like Earth, it gets, milder and warmer around the equator. And then the further you go out from the equator, I said, from the equator, it gets colder. So again, it's to do with what challenge you want to see for yourself as well. I mean, this is the ultimate sandbox. Sand desert. You probably want to avoid a desert. You want to find somewhere that's basically as kind of to make it as easy or as beneficial as possible for your dwarves. As you move through your kind of Dwarf Fortress days, you probably can just challenge yourself by building in like mountains. Trees, none is not a good idea really. And heavy forested might not be a good idea either. So ideally it would be a decent amount of natural resources, as seen in the middle paragraph. But you do want trees as well. Lots of people do obviously take the kind of non-tree challenge because you might be able to eventually make it so that you don't need wood or trees growing in your colony or whatsoever. But I would say for your early games, you want some trees as well. Shallow clay, shallow sound, very deep soil, probably not a good idea. water, as you would expect, is probably a good idea as well. Is there any rivers? Is there any anywhere with no aquifers? So yeah, we've got elves, humans, and goblins. About a day's travel. Again, we do want to find somewhere where there's water and forest. So here would be pretty good. Very deep soil, probably not a great idea. But let's zoom in. Click on the map to embark. Righto. So, I think we want to put this around here. Shallow sand, deep soil isn't too bad, but it will take us a little longer to hit kind of like minerals, useful minerals. But deep soil is sometimes pretty good as well. So you do want some soil. Let's see if there's some soil, light aquifer, then a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to pop us just there. Do it. You can now, you could also, okay. So, number of enemies, you can turn them off altogether or make them difficult. Let's leave it at normal for now. The economy is hard or normal, blah, blah, blah. Custom settings. You can go through. Civilizations can attack. Yes, mega beasts can attack. We are beasts. Okay. Enemy population trigger. 2050. I wouldn't mind changing that to 50, just to give us a bit more time to build up our civilization before anything starts attacking us. There you go, and I think we'll change that to 120. So this should give us a number of waves of immigrants before we start getting attacked. Again, you start off with I think that's what that is. I think that is the number of guys that you've got before. Oh no, that's the number of enemies. Oh. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Enemy population trigger. Is that what I think it is? Is that the number of dwarfs you've got in your colony before they attack? Let's hope so. Like I say, I'm not 100% au fait with this version, so I don't know exactly. Start immediately with default skills, equipment, and animals. Prepare for your journey carefully. Again, this is quite interesting, even at kind of the simple level, at the kind of like, you know, beginner levels. You can prepare for your journey carefully, and you can, you know, you can change your dwarves' kind of makeup of skills. Like you'd want to develop your own kind of build over time. So you'd take like 1 doctor, 2 miners. With equipment, you'd want to bring things like wood cutting axes and things like you know, metal anvils and metal pickaxes. And animals, you'd probably want to take a couple of dogs, a couple of cats, but you'd want to kind of weigh up, because there is a famous thing that happens in Dwarf Fortress where you have something called a cat explosion, and it kind of happens with all animals, but it is kind of more kind of noticeable with cats. It can be useful to have a cat explosion. It's basically where you'll take like one couple of cats, so a male and a female. They'll then have like 5 kittens, let's say 2 male, 3 female. Then they would get together and create like 5 couples. Then like they would have babies, so they would then have 25 couples, and you'd just have masses and masses of cats. But they can make the game easier, because if the worst comes to the worst, you can just kill a bunch of your cats and eat their meat. So yeah, we are going to play now, however, because I have used the default set of stuff already. And maybe we'll look at my very early Dwarf Fortress. So there you go. I can already see my cat. We've got a camel. There's our dwarves. We start with 7 dwarfs, of course, because like that's the tradition, isn't it? 7 dwarves. You get it. So yeah, this is our map. This is a Dwarven outpost, which is called Future Keys. So yeah, randomly generated name, randomly generated kind of region name as well. Zaludedim. Yeah, Future Keys outpost. A Dwarven outpost. You have arrived after a journey from the mountain homes, i.e. Dwarf Central, into the forbidden wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of Zuntir Stizach, which is, I guess, the name of the dwarf civilization. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labour comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plough or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now. Enough time to delve, secure lodgings before the wolves get hungry. Yep, like that. That's the kind of old English way to write before, just in case. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins here at this place. Zaludedim, let's call it that. Future Keys, strike the earth. So yeah, this is us starting. This is what the game looks like. But yeah, hey, we got snow. Nice. So yeah, this is rock. That's what rock tends to look like. So yeah, this is like us looking down. We can adjust the elevation, usually by rolling your mouse wheel. So roll your mouse wheel up and it goes up. The way to look at this is like trees going up into the air and tree tops at this elevation. Elevation 46 is tree tops. 47 is some straggling bits of some larger trees, etc., etc. Some larger trees still. And I think it probably runs out about elevation 50 or so. But yeah, we want to go back to ground level. Whoops, which is there. And that's like the majority of ground. But yeah, obviously some ground is different heights than other pieces of ground. So this is kind of like the mountains here. They're across kind of like several layers of hills. And then, where are we? Where is the normal level? Yeah, elevation 41. And so basically, because we're dwarves, we want to mine into the earth, because that's where dwarves live, right? They live in, if you read Tolkien, I'm not saying that that's recommended, because I think Tolkien is shit. But, you know, his dwarves, they all live underground. So yeah, this is underground. The more we roll our map cursor wheel down, you can see the elevation changing down as well. Okay, so right now I've looked at the footage, I'm editing the footage, I've decided to split this initial review of the commercial version of Dwarf Fortress into 2 parts, and they're kind of a little bit shorter because it's a lot of kind of like technical banonkers. I'll try and get the next episode, i.e. part 2 of the Dwarf Fortress review. I'll try and get that up tomorrow, and that'll take the place of the Wednesday episode, which I missed. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Isn't that immoral?